live sub menu, and you're free to join the live chat and post anything about programming or lifestyle topics. As you can see here, it says that the live stream is going to be on YouTube. If you don't want to do that, you can simply watch the video below. It's embedded in also in this article. Obviously, I'm also multi-streaming now. I'm streaming to YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, and BitChute. Okay, so if you don't like any of those, if you like one of them, you can join me live on any of them. I'm also checking the live chat, so you can post something there if you wish. I do look at it during the live stream. All right, so we're going to use PHP and MariaDB. Obviously, MariaDB is a fork of MySQL, so if you have MySQL, this will work as well. Don't worry about it. It's a drop-in replacement. So we're going to be doing search results using full text, like, and locate. Locate is also known as position as well. So this is a beginner-friendly tutorial. So you can follow along, and this will help you understand how you can do searches. Most people just do a search where it just equals. So I'm saying there are many different ways to do the search, and I'll show you how. I'll show you three ways. This is also known as you can search for specific strings. I'll show you how to do all that. Also, going to use the fetch API because we're going to do some JavaScript. The fetch API just lets me do something like Ajax. Basically, you don't have to refresh the page. Also cover how to set up your MariaDB database. And it's a very basic PHP script to handle this search functionality, basically back and forth between PHP, the server side, and the front side will be JavaScript. Okay, so if you're impatient, I have the code here for the database. You can simply just run the code in the database. I'll explain that in a second. You can see it's called post.sql. There's some HTML, there's the JavaScript, and then the PHP. So I'm not going to talk about them right now because I'll explain when I open up the files. So for best practices, you should use indexing. I'll explain that as well. So full text indexes, they optimize search on large text fields like titles and content. So titles you can basically get away using varchar. And for content, because content could be very, very big. For example, like this article here, I wouldn't use varchar for that. I would just use text because it's pretty big. There's a lot of stuff going on. The images are not stored in the database, but there's a lot of text is what I'm getting at. And you should use prepared statements. You should always use prepared statements to sanitize inputs to prevent SQL injection. I've explained this before because you should never trust user input. So you should always do a validation and sanitization. If you can't do both, don't just rely on prepared statements. You should always trust user input. Obviously, I'm the one typing stuff. I'm not going to try to do SQL injection in my own database. And for efficient querying, use the correct query type based on your use case. For example, like can be very slow on large data sets, so you don't want to use that on large data sets. Well, full text is optimized for large text fields. So I see people, they do use like, and it can slow down, can take minutes. Yes, you heard me right, minutes. So I'm saying is, if you have a very large data set, use full text instead of like. Like is great because it has, obviously, it's more convenient. What I'm saying is that know when to use the proper one, especially if you have very large, large data sets. Okay, and as you can see here, I have some screenshots. I said I'm not going to talk about that because we're going to open up the same file soon, and I'll explain all this. And this is the query. Again, I'll talk about that, and this is what it looks like. So I'm saying I'll talk about. Don't worry about it. We'll get to everything here. So this is to prove this is a live chat. Okay, and you tell that's a live chat. So I'm just going to stop right about there. It's fine. Okay, so. I'm going to check to make sure the live chats are working before we actually get into this. It looks like I can start up. Okay, Odyssey is fine. It says starting soon. Oh, come on. Seriously? I have to refresh? I don't know what's wrong with Odyssey. Why do I always have to refresh? Okay, Rumble. Looks like I have people on Rumble here. Can I hit play? Okay, Rumble is another weird one as well. I have to hit refresh. Okay, now it's showing me an ad. Thanks for that. And BitChute, just hit a refresh. YouTube seems to be the only one that gets it right. You don't have to hit a refresh. Okay, fantastic. Come on. what's going on? Okay, I'll take it. Skip ad here. Oh, there's another ad on Rumble. You gotta be kidding me! Seriously? Skip ad. Okay, finally. Okay, looks like it's working fine. So all the live chats are working fine. Great. All right. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna set up systemctl start MariaDB, and that's all I need for this tutorial. But if you have PHP MyAdmin installed like I do on the system, I'm also gonna start up HTTP, that's Apache server. We're not going to use Apache server, but I'm just starting it up because that's needed for the PHP MyAdmin. I don't really need PHP MyAdmin, but I do that because it's just for beginner friendly stuff, it's pretty convenient. So I've started them up, and to get rid of the command line here, I'm also going to start up the PHP server. This one I'm going to use. I'm going to use 0.0.0.0. and I'll put 8000. The reason I use 000 is it allows me to use localhost, obviously 0.0.0.0. You can use 127.0.0.1. I can also use the IP address for the workstation, which allows me to use other devices, like whether it's a laptop or a phone, anything connected to the network. So I just click that, and you see I'm running the development server. So that's the command line is done. I don't need the command line anymore. Now, I'm going to open up the GNOME text editor. I'll go through this pretty quickly, so I don't take too much of your time here. Okay, so first, I'll open all these 3 files, paste them here. I'm going to start with this one here, the post. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So as you can see, it's going to create a database if it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist. Code guide, we're using guide that stands for generative AI. That's because that's perfect for testing. So we're going to create a table called posts. The ID, integer, auto increment, it's going to be the primary key, and then the title is going to be varchar 255. I said that one's fine because titles are not very long, unless you have a super long one, but that's good enough for my purposes anyway. And the content, you see I'm using text. Because text 65532 is the length of the varchar is 255, and then you see we're going to use full text for the title and the content. So this is the part you add. When you add this, because both of this is going to be text, so it will when you add this, it will make it faster for searches. So that optimizes the database. So make sure you have that. And then we're going to add some sample data. See, we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're going to add 4 of them. You see there's title and there's content. The reason for that is because there's the ID will auto increment. So we don't need to add an ID for that. So that's it. That's our database sample data. Of course, you have more. You can continue adding more or use an existing database. That's fine, or a table. So then I'll show you the index file. Zoom in a little bit here. Doc type as usual. In the head section, I put a meta name equals viewport, and the content I made a device with. Initial scale 1. This allows if I'm on a mobile phone, it will scale properly. So instead of showing the desktop version, it'll be too tiny. So you have to squint. You don't have to do that. And styling is subjective, so I'm not going to bother with that. You style it any way you want. The one I'm more interested in is the right here. H1 tag says PHP Word Search with my MariaDB. Then I have an input. If you notice, I don't have a form because it's not needed. We're going to use JavaScript for that. So just a label for our input field is a type text, and then just a placeholder. Just say enter search term, and then we have. I'm going to have a select drop down. The option full text, like, and locate, and then we have a button here. So when you click the button, it will grab those two and use them specifically for what you're doing. And you see I have a table here. This is just for the results, because remember we have a title and content. You can add other things like ID if you want. That's all up to you. Okay, and then we have our JavaScript here. So for our JavaScript, we had an event listener for the search button, and then we just create some variables here for the input and the type. Remember, the type is going to be the select drop down, so we just get the value of that, and then for the input we get the value of that as well. And then if the input is empty, we just stop. That's how the return here. We just put an alert, say please enter a search term. And we use the fetch API. It's going to go to our search.php. So the thing with this, with the fetch API, you need to have a server running. So that's why I started the PHP server. But I said I could have used Apache as well, but that was a little bit too involved. I wanted something simple. Just this for this tutorial. This works well. The method is post. The headers, I want JSON application/JSON. I stringified the search input and the search tab. I could have also used the form data, but I said there's several ways to do this. This is just a simple, because remember it's not a form, it's just grabbing data from there. So I could create a form, I said, but that's perfectly fine. And then we get the response, make sure it's JSON. If it is, then we remember our search results, we make it empty, and then we fetch, we use a for each loop through the data. And then what we do is we, because we expect the data to be JSON, so obviously it is, and then we just append a table row, and inside the table row there will be two cells, TD, the title, and the post, and that's it. We're done. And then we just that's it. You see, it says inner HTML. That means we replace what's in there right now. If there's an error, we catch it, and then we output it to the console. That's it. We're done. Now let's take a look at the PHP. I'm going to zoom in as well. So these are the credentials for the PHP. The content type, as we see, the application JSON, the server name, username, password, and the database name. We create a connection. You guys might recognize this. This is the one I always ask AIs to. I always ask them for some PHP code to connect to a database, so you can see it's actually perfect use right here, and exactly the same. You see, if the connection error, it dies, meaning it doesn't continue, because we really need the database for the application to work. Then what we do is we decode the JSON. We use file _get _contents php : /input. PHP doesn't have it has like a post, it has a get, it has files for handling file uploads, but it doesn't have put, and it doesn't have something for, it doesn't have something. It doesn't have a put. I think, what's the other one called? Put, delete. It doesn't have those ones, so you have to come up with ways to kind of mimic that. So basically, we just grab we just grab the output. We assume there's output. And then we use, you see, as I said before, you should always, never trust user input. So you see here, I use a real escape string for the search input, and real escape string for the type. And then after that, I do a query here. As you can see, I'm using, if it's full text, I put search from post where matched, title content against search input in natural language mode. Else, if we're using like, we use the select all from post where title like, the percentage, you can see there, or content like this, or we can use locate. As you can see here, locate units have to put position. As you see, that's the position there, and locate, so both of them. So that's it. You might be saying, hey, wait a minute, well, how come you didn't use prepared statements? You can use prepared statements. I'm just giving you other options, right? So after that, we do a query, we get the results, and then we output our we use a fetch. Remember, fetch associate. That means it will have the, instead of just having a numeric one, it will like 0, 1, 2. It will give us the actual name. We need that. That's why we put that into our posts array. And then we close, and then we just encode that posts array, and that's why I'm able to get the ID if I want, the title, and etc. That's how I'm able to do it. And you see, because I can grab more data, because you see I use the asterisk here, that means I also have the ID. If I do want to output the ID, I can show you guys later. Okay, so that's it. So we don't need this anymore. I can actually minimize this. Now we just need, I'm going to tie off one of these Chromium browsers here and put this here. Actually, I can make it half screen because we don't need anything else. So the first thing I'll show you is, I think it was 8,000 if I remember correctly. So we just go to HTTP colon, I'll use localhost in this case, and we want, I think it was, no, I'll use 127. I think that's what I've been using, 127, and I'll use 8,000. You see, now this, you see there's no content yet. So we need to go to the database and create all this stuff. I think it might have created, so we'll go here and we go here, guy, what the, oh, guy pass. Okay, so here's our guy database. I think I might have, yeah, I do have posts here, as you can see the data here. So I'm going to delete this one, drop that. Then what I'm going to do is, actually we don't need this part here, so all I need is this one. I need to go to SQL and we're going to paste our SQL in here. If you remember, this is our SQL. So just copy everything in here and paste it in here and click go. So you can see it says the first one, obviously the database already exists because I'm using the database already, and then we're going to use it. That makes no sense. And then you see we created the table, and then we inserted some data into that table. So for example, if I go here, now you can see that we have our table and it has the data again. So if you notice, there's four of them. So the full text search will search in the title, and it also search in the content. So for example, if we see here, if I do, if I search for MariaDB, I believe MariaDB only shows up once in ID number 4. But for example, if I type the word introduction, you see introduction only shows up in the title for number 4. So those are the type of things we can do for our search. So if we go here, by default, it's going to use the full text search. That's perfectly fine. So if I type the word intro and I click search, there's no result. I don't know if, let me make sure there's no error. Yeah, you see there's no result. Okay, so if I use like, I click search, you see there's like, because of the percentage, it found a match. Okay, now if I go to locate position, it also found a match. Now if I type the word introduction, obviously it's, if I use the location, it's going to be there. If I use like, it's going to be there. If I go to full text finally found it because the word introduction is here. Now if I just say, if I take the N out, if I do a full search, you see full search still doesn't have it. That's something you have to be careful what you want to actually find. So if I go back to like, obviously like will find it, and obviously locate will also find it as well. So now if I go back here, let's say another word I want is, for example, like PHP 1, 2, 3. I think this one, I don't know if this one has PHP in it. Okay, this one doesn't have it. So if I type PHP should show up 3 times, right? So if I go here and I type PHP as an example, I use locate here, it should show up 3 times. Like should also show up 3 times. But if I go to full text search, it also shows up 3 times as well. Now if I, as I said before, if I just type PH, I click search, you see in full text doesn't work. Like should work, and so should locate as well. Okay, now let's see if there's something that, for example here, this word popular, right? Popular only shows up here, so I believe that is, let me just copy that. Copy the word popular, same thing, popular, you see it only shows up once. Like it should also show up, and full text it should also show up. So for example, if I put the word is, you see is doesn't show up at all. Like it like shows up because it says, I don't know why is didn't show up. Or is it because I have to check why that didn't show up? And if I go to locate, it should show up in full text as well. That's weird, it doesn't show up there. Huh, did I put a space or something? Okay, let me put a space. I don't know what, I don't know. Is it, let me check the code. Is it because I have a minimum length? Oh, it says in natural language mode, so I guess that's why I put here in natural language mode. So I guess I have to add something else. So let's say is would that work if I put is full text? Doesn't work. Like will definitely work, and so will locate position will also work. So there you go. So that's basically the story. I don't want to spend too much time or waste you guys' time. So let's finish this up. If you're interested in learning more about PHP and database interaction, I recommend checking out my book, Learning PHP. It's available on Amazon. The link is also in the description, which covers PHP fundamentals and more. Additionally, if you prefer learning through video tutorials, I've created a course called Learning PHP, available on ojamboshop.com. The link is also in the description, which is perfect for anyone looking to improve their PHP skills. If you need personalized help, I offer one-on-one programming tutorials as well as services for updating and migrating PHP applications. Feel free to reach out via the ojambo.com/contact page. In conclusion, you have now built a simple PHP-based web search application using MariaDB and learned how to search using different query methods. This can be expanded with more advanced features such as pagination, fuzzy search, or filtering results based on different criteria. Happy coding. Now, quick reminder, I do a live stream every single day. You go to ojambo.com, you go to watch menu, live summary, you can see topics for this and upcoming tutorials. Is always going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And also, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments. It helps the channel grow. And for example, some of the upcoming tutorials have been requested by viewers just like you. Not just subscribers, viewers just like you. So I'm open, as I said, to anything you guys want me to do. When I learn things, I do share with you, and most of you also share some information with me, which I share with everybody else. So thank you very much. Keep up the subscription of the channels, all of them, not just YouTube, obviously Odyssey, Rumble, and BitChute. Thank you very much. All right. So that's the end of the tour. As I said before, I do have 3 other recommended resources. I live in a rural area, and there's no internet, and the cellular service is sporadic, so I use SpaceX Starlink, the residential service. I do have a referral link, so if you're thinking of getting it, you please use my referral link, because I'll get a 1 month free, and you get a discount. For example, right now in Canada, you get the equipment for free. It's very expensive, so that's a nice discount right there. And if you're anywhere else, you also get a discount, but the length of the discount, the type of discount depends on your geographical location. So be sure to use I also use the SpaceX Starlink on my phone for Wi-Fi calling. That allows me to receive calls, send call people, text messages, including multimedia, all without having to pay roaming charges, and it works perfect. For example, the last 3 days it snowed. It's got a lot of snow. Even today it snowed, so I have to go back out and clear the snow, because right now it's raining, so that will turn into ice, which is actually the worst thing to happen. So I have to go out and take care of that. But I'm saying this SpaceX Starlink is working perfectly fine. I actually have mine on the ground because it says cooler instead of putting up on the roof. I don't want to climb roofs, so it's on the ground. It's working perfect, even during the last winter when it was very harsh. The other related to winter, I'm using I do have an affiliate link. It's on Amazon for this little guy here. This is called the Honeywell Personal Ceramic Heat Bud. So you see there, it has 3 switches, off, low, and high, and then it has a trip protection. If you want, it trips over, it will go off. The low uses 170 watts, the high uses 250 watts. So this little guy saved me over $100 during the worst part of last winter. For example, in February, I paid $250 for propane. So this house uses propane for heating. It's only for the furnace. So it's very expensive. The first year I was here, it was a mild winter, I was paying like $350 a month for propane, which is preposterous. Last year, in February, I paid $250. That means I had savings of $100, and it was very, very cold. So what happens is, this is also called as a space heater. So it only hits a specific space. It doesn't hit like the entire room. That's fine with me, because, for example, like in the first year I was here, when I was feeling a little chilly, I would turn up the heater to 22, 23 degrees, because some rooms are cooler than the others. That's another thing I dislike about central HVAC. So it was very expensive, like $350, and that was a mild winter. So last winter was more cold. In middle of the coldest month, February, I had this little guy. So I would set the temperature of the house to 16 degrees Celsius, and I have this little guy, and I felt perfectly fine. Okay, so for example, the savings this year, I want to save another $100 on top of that. For example, all of last month, it was also cold. I never turned on the heater at all. So that means the entire October I never turned on the heater. So I already made significant savings. And right now I said it's snowing. I got like an inch of snow, which I took care of yesterday, and looks like I got probably another I said a foot of snow, so 12 inches. So it looks like I got probably half a foot. So I have to go take care of that soon. And I said it's cold, but I'm saying is that this little guy will help me obviously dress warmly too. That's another thing I didn't do, I admit, in my first year here. But there you go. So this little guy, I do have the affiliate link, so that means that I get a commission if you do buy this Honeywell HeatBud personal ceramic heater. If there's anything you guys want me to put in the affiliate links, I would go ahead and put those there as well. And finally, the last one, also on Amazon, is my novelette. It's called The Algorithmic Serpent. It's about a scientist who creates an AI system and loses his mind, so he has to regain control of his mind and the AI system. So you see, it's made by me, Edward Ojambo. My name is right there, and this is the back. So you can see this is the paperback version. There's also an ebook version. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get the ebook version for free. So check it out. I made both of them very affordable, both the ebook and the paperback version. They're at cost. Basically, for the paperback version, the costs are for printing and shipping, and the ebook version is for storage cost. So pick it up if you have the means, and let me know what you think, because I like writing, not just programming books. I also like writing other stuff. So I want to improve my writing. So you guys can let me know what you think, good or bad. All right, so that's it. And if you want to know more about me, each article I do have a bio. So example, in this case, it's about me. And you can read more about me, what I do. And of course, you can explore my books. I have the bookshop on Amazon. The link is direct there. And if you need support, jamboservices.com. The link is also right there. And if you're ready to learn, the courses, online courses at jamboshop.com, also there. And if you scroll down right to the footer here, I do have all the channels, Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and YouTube as well. So there are a lot of ways to contact me or to follow me. So those are the ones I use the most. Some people have requested I use something like Discord or what's the other one? Telegram. I am on Telegram. I'm also on Discord, but I rarely use them. I prefer something which I use frequently, at least every day. And this channel, I'm there every day. So that's. And obviously use the contact forms or the put something in the comment section, because that will get to me. That's the best way to contact me. Yeah. So one of the reasons I shy away from the other stuff, because most of them are proprietary, and I don't feel comfortable asking people to use something which I personally don't use myself. So maybe it's an open source one I can join. If you guys know one, let me know. I can test it out, and if I like it, I'll join that one, and that will be people will be able to message me with that. All right, so that's it. There won't be I don't think I'll have time for a night stream tonight. Let me see what we're doing tomorrow again. Oh yeah, there will probably be one tomorrow, and then yeah. So that's it. See you guys. Bye.